As we've tracked the flooding in Manitoba, we've been reporting on the Peguis First Nation, the worst hit area, really, the largest First Nation in the province. Its chief has requested military help, but Indigenous Services Canada says the situation is not there yet.
We work with communities to make sure that resources within Manitoba and within our resources within Indigenous Services Canada are exhausted first. And we're not there yet, right? And only once we've come over that threshold of exhausting all other resources would we then look at considering the military.
So this is what happened yesterday. The representative you just heard from there and the chief flew over the flood zone, got a first-hand look on all of that to see the devastation. One of the things that the Indigenous Services Canada has done is bring in coordinated about 100 different volunteers. And we're going to talk about all of those things because with us this morning is Chief Glenn Hudson from right within the flood zone, right there in his home, the Peguis First Nation. Chief, welcome to our program. Thank you for making some time for us today.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. We're going to show some pictures of you flying over in that helicopter yesterday. As you looked at the water over all of your community, or a good part of it, what were you thinking?
Well, it's unprecedented flooding that we've viewed there by air. The river is the highest that it's ever been in our history, and the overland flooding is widespread throughout the community, north to south, and obviously even outside of our boundaries. And it's going to take time for water to make its way through the Fisher River.
It must have been just a devastating sight to see your homes, that much water around your area. And as you said, worst ever. And Peguis is not unfamiliar with bad flooding in a number of years, 2009, 11, and 14, and now again. I'm wondering what the status is of the Fisher River this morning. Is the water level still rising, or what's the latest?
Yeah, the water levels are rising. In the south, it has dropped somewhat. Our community is probably 30 kilometers in length, so it has dropped a little bit in the south. In the central area, it has maintained stable, but in the north end right now, we're finding it difficult to get to places that we can protect. The water is at the highest levels that it's been since it started.
So we can see you at the sign that says floodwaters there. How close are you to the water just behind you?
Probably about 600 meters. I decided to stop here. The road is washed out behind me, and this is something that is happening throughout the entire community.
Okay. Yeah, you want to keep you safe as you speak with us today. Now, people evacuated. We had the number of 1,400. Is that still the current number?
The actual number is 1,547 as of 10:30 last night. 1,547 people.
So that's an increase as well. And they were evacuated, most of them to Winnipeg, but also Gimli, Selkirk, and Brandon, I understand. Are you hearing anything how they're doing?
Well, they're obviously safe out of the floodwaters and accessible to emergency, various medical areas. That's the most important, but they're adjusting. I know it's been quite an upsetting situation for many people. I know that's something that we continue to monitor and try and help them in that way.
They'll be anxious to come home, I suspect. Are they going to be able to return to homes? What's the status of their homes?
Well, the status of the homes is there's probably on the order of 700 plus homes that have been impacted. I would say 200 homes completely inundated by water in terms of the water surrounding them. There's many homes that have been sandbagged and tiger dams put around them, but the water came so fast and is so high. It has even succumbed to the, as far as the sandbags, had overrun the sandbags and the tiger dam. So we're trying to continue to fix that situation and pump those homes out.
Pump those out. I know a number of the people in the community had opted to stay behind. How are they doing, even as the waters are rising around them?
Yeah, the access within the community is very limited. People are going out by boat, high trucks, and ATVs. We had hired a bunch to monitor and check on people and deliver goods and supplies and groceries to them where needed, and their medications. So we continue to work together in terms of going against Mother Nature here, the high water.
It's just incredible. We've been seeing these machines. We have video up. I don't think you can probably see it, of these big, huge four-wheelers going in to get people and help them and get those things into them and get people out. It's really quite a sight. Now, we were just reporting how Indigenous Services Canada and the Red Cross have coordinated this group of about 100 people to help. What are they doing, and how much of a difference are they making, Chief?
Well, they've certainly helped. I know our people are becoming fatigued. It's going on day 7 for us, and night and day. And having additional resources like that helps us protect our community, but also in terms of housing, they have been putting sandbags around us. But this morning, again, it's been very, very difficult to access those areas now because of the high water.
Yes. Wind is strong. Sometimes I'm having a little challenge hearing you, but not enough to stop the conversation. I just want to explain. Sometimes I'm losing a little bit of what you're telling me, Chief. With that help of the volunteers, you had asked for military help, but I'm wondering, do you still need that now?
Well, that's something we're assessing day by day. I think with the water remaining high in the community, and as long as this situation is prolonged, I think we're going to need the military, because, again, it is very difficult to get into certain areas within the community, and people are becoming tired, they're becoming fatigued. So we need to ensure that fighting continues.
As you said, day 7. What about long term? What are you going to need?
Well, long-term, we need long-term flood mitigation. We've been working with government and trying to get funding in place, both levels of government. The town of Winkler, south of us in southern Manitoba, has a ring dike around the entire community. We have no ring dike here in Peguis. We have to look at long-term flood mitigation measures like that to ensure that this doesn't happen again.
Yes, my colleague Sam Sampson was reporting on that, how the government had given $4 million back in 2010 as part of a commitment then. It was supposed to be for long-term flood proofing, but you had to use it, you told her, for immediate needs. So you'll have to look at the long-term in a different way now with even more flooding. Listen, Chief, I'm wondering, as I let you go, what's job 1 for you today? What is your agenda today?
Well, we're going to head down to the high areas as far as the water is concerned, and make sure people are okay, and check throughout the community, but also continue to coordinate efforts in terms of resource people and supplies and equipment. Make sure that they are continuing and that we get in additional equipment. And as far as that long-term flood mitigation, $4 million is just a small amount. We need over $90 million to help with long-term flood mitigation.
90, that is a big difference. Lots of discussions to come on that, I'm sure, in the future. But the immediate crisis before you, I'll let you go and attend to that. Chief will be in touch over the weekend, I know, and thank you very much for giving us an update this morning.
Yes, thank you. Miigwech.
Appreciate it. Chief Glenn Hudson from the Peguis First Nation.